So I'm just here to see one of my students, Gabriel, who just secured his first rent-to-rent deal after joining our mentorship just around about 6 months ago. He's been working very, very hard, and there's been a lot of confusion. There's been a lot of knowledge to learn more because he's absolutely finding all of this really, really strange. He's based all in Scotland, but he's desirous to invest in London. Obviously, I always say this, invest where you live, but he said, I want to relocate back to London. So it's quite a very interesting character. And yeah, I'm just going to interview him, see the property, just to kind of ask how the journey is going. So come on, guys, let's go and have a look. Hey, my man, Gabriel, how's it going?
I'm fine, Gabriel. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Good to see you, man.
Thanks for coming to check my property out.
I told you I'll come. Yeah?
Yes,
I told you I'll come to give all the support.
I need it.
I know. Great. Let's go in.
So,
wow.
This is my first deal.
This is your first deal, yeah? How are you finding the journey so far?
It's stressful, but to what you said, to bring your dream to reality, you have to put in the action.
Absolutely.
So,
are you finding the action part of your journey at the minute?
I'm just stressed. Let me put it that way, because it's my first deal.
I know the first one is always the difficult one.
Yes, but there's always the challenges when it comes to business.
I know. Great.
So how will you rate my kitchen? Although we're in the process of setting it up to in a complete standard anyway, but how will you rate it?
I mean, right now, we just came into the property, and obviously we're gonna have a look around as we go, as we go through this video and obviously vlogging your entire journey. Yeah, so far so good. It seems to be there's a lot of work to be done here, So let's very quickly let's go into your journey. You're based in Scotland. Why did you choose to come from Scotland to invest in London?
Because London is the commercial naps of United Kingdom.
I told you it's a quite interesting country.
Again, there are in some UK comprises of 4 countries. We have England, we have Scotland, we have Wales. Every country have different rules. Mm-hmm. So in Scotland, there is nothing like HMO doesn't exist.
But no, it exists.
It exists,
but you can't sublet.
You cannot sublet it out to people like
regardless of the permission required. You cannot sublet.
Because I actually want to start from zero. You said I don't have to have up to 50,000, 100,000 to start my journey. Mm-hmm. So I said, if I can afford this, you can do that here. And I said, okay, I will probably choose London. And at the same time, in order to enjoy the mentorship which I just joined, I started to move closer to you by investing in London.
Wow. This is quite interesting, isn't it? So when you started your journey, we've had a lot of one-to-ones, we've had a lot of sessions where we've actually had a chat. For me, I said, you don't have to come all the way to London. He said, no, I'm coming to London. Why are you so passionate in leaving everything in Scotland and to relocate to London? I know you said you want to move closer, to your mentorship, to your programs, to everything that's going around in London. Well, that was quite a big risk to take. Why do you really need to be in London? Because property works everywhere.
Yes, as you told me earlier on that you can be a property investor even in Nigeria where I came from. But the question is, London has always been commercial and center. So it's as simple as I love to invest where
your heart is.
My heart is.
Wow, it's quite a stubborn one. He likes to invest where his heart is. How are you finding property, business, rent to rent you started with at the moment? How are you finding it?
Well, it's stressful because sometimes it requires your full attention. It requires full of knowledge. You have to know what you're doing, because if you don't know what you're doing, you run out of the business. You will lose that momentum. In as much as the business is good, at the same time you have to be knowledgeable, and for you to have the full knowledge, then you have to have a mentor who is going to be there for you. Let me give you an example. That it's not like, because I don't have this knowledge, you made a mistake. If you violate any of the council rule, then that will be a big problem for you. Mm-hmm. And you could probably end up in jail. Mm-hmm. That it's not like, I don't know. You have to know what you're doing when it comes to property business, because at the end of the day, you are putting people in the property. Their safety depends on you, and what you do depends on what makes the property look habitable for people who wants to put in the property. So for that simple reason, it's very stressful. And for you to have a full knowledge, I need someone like you.
I like that. So anyway, congratulations on securing this first property deal. And as you mentioned, it's been stressful, because it requires your 100% attention.
Exactly.
Especially, the choice you've made to relocate from Scotland to London, and also the choice you've made as well to invest in London. It's not an easy one. I'm sure it would have been really, really difficult. So how did you manage to secure this first property?
I attended a boot camp twice, and the first time I wasn't even know what I'm doing. So I have to came back because you said I don't want you to fail. Your success depends on me, and at the same time I have to put in the action myself. So I came back the second time, and during that second time I actually linked up with some of your network. And the first one I secured this one through Nix. He's a good guy, although he's not here today, but he actually secured my first rent deals to me, all thanks to him. And the question arises, who is going to manage this property? Because I live in London, I live in Scotland, and I decided, okay, Joseph is also a good guy as well. He's also a property investor, a senior colleague of mine as well. I would probably call him a senior colleague. So he has been the one doing the works behind me, and to be honest, he's actually a good guy too. Because sometimes I do phone his wife to say, I'm sorry, your husband is actually working for me. And at the end of the day, it's understandable. So I think your network actually helped me to be here today. If not, there's no way I could make it. So all thanks to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. So it's been a journey for you, right? Like you said, the first time you came to the 3 days boot camp, nothing made sense to you because it was all strange. Now you came to the second boot camp. And after coming to the second boot camp, obviously you joined the mentorship. You joined our 1 year mentorship program, which is the Wealth Circle Gold program. Now, how are you finding the learning, the process, the journey, the assimilation of every single information is helping you to propel your property journey? How are you finding things?
Like I said earlier on, it's stressful, but sometimes you have a book, which if I'm struggling, I'll always go back to read your book. And at the same time, from the bootcamp, from my own portal, which you gave me as one of your mentees, I will always watch the video if there is anything I'm missing, just to make sure I'm on the right track.
Okay, great. That's been helping you.
Yes.
What do you currently do for a living?
I'm a nurse presently.
You're a nurse presently?
Yes.
Wow.
But so I'm trying all my possible best to make sure in the next couple of months, or maybe 1 year or two, I want to go into full-time property investor. I want to be a full-time property investor.
Wow, so property must be really good for you right now. Forget the fact that you just found your first property. You're trying to get this property tenanted. Property must be really doing you really well for you to make up your mind and say, actually, I want to become a full-time entrepreneur as a property investor.
If whoever that's read your book, whoever that's listening to what you have been saying on every platform of social media, anyone that loves your journey will probably wants to end up being a property investor. Your journey was really amazing. From a Uber driver to, I won't mention it anyway, but close to the big boy.
This guy's an absolute character, I told you. Great. So Gabriel, well done on you. So let's quickly talk through these numbers of this property. How many tenants have you currently? What month? How long ago did you secure this property?
Yes, I secured this deal last month.
Okay.
That was last month January, towards the first week of February.
Okay, let's just say February then.
February, yes. And we have been trying as much as possible to make sure it's up to the standard, get things done, get the HMO license to make sure we do the right thing. And as you used to say, never you jump anything that needs to be in the property. Everything has to be in place before you bring in tenants. But we have managed to secure 3 tenants, and they will be coming in today. And before they come, we'll try as much as possible to make sure everything is in order. And that was why I invited you, the big boy, to see and make sure are we actually complying or do the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of the things, the support that we give to every single of our mentees. We don't just let you wallow in darkness, and not know exactly, the help. I mean, getting an HMO inspector or getting someone that's got some experience to even come and look at your property, you're looking about at least an average of about £200 to £300 per hour just to come and have a look sometimes. It can even cost more. The cheapest you get in London, maybe 150. So again, the importance of being in a mentorship program where personally I've got so much HMOs. So obviously I'll be able to give you those sort of guidance, practical, ideas on how you can make the property really, really look better. So talk through numbers. So you got 3 properties right now. They're 6-bedroom flats. So this house is on top of a shop. So there's shops on the ground floor.
Yes, and it's close to.
And it's literally on the high street. When I came in, the first thing I said to Kevin, I was like, Kevin, this is a fantastic location. If this guy makes it work, you're gonna make good profit, right? So fantastic location, great transportation links, literally this is Oxbridge Road?
Yeah, Oxbridge Road.
Great. So if you make this really work, you should make approximately about £600 profit minimum. That's your starting point. So what do you think you're currently could make right now? Because obviously we've had a chat on the phone, and you said in order to just get tenants, get people in this property very, very quickly, you basically had to drop your price, get them in. So what that would mean for you, in 6 months' time, you can actually increase their rent.
Yes. So the plan was, as I've discussed earlier on with you, the rent is coming to an end next week, and we have to comply with it. Regardless of tenants in the property or not,
we have to pay
the rent because we have to build a name for ourselves.
Yeah.
So after we have managed to secure the price down just to look more attractive, but that is not the end goal. The end goal was to make sure every rooms everywhere is up to a standard. A room whereby a tenant will probably tell you, you see what, I'm on 6-month contract and I need to renew my contract.
Yeah.
That is the end goal, and that's why I've brought you here today to inspect, and which you have brutally told me everything I've done, and I like that.
Great. So what's your profit looking like if you, based on reducing your rent at the minute, is it 500, is it 300, is it £50? What is it?
Presently, it's not good, it's not encouraging.
It's not encouraging because because you're in that anxiety
I'm in that anxiety of securing my first rent deal, but it doesn't work that way. Fine, you have to have the momentum, you have to put in a good work, but at the end of the day, your mentor won't tell you you need to do this, you need to do this. It's up to me to make sure the rooms are up to standard. If you actually want to sell yourself, it's like you selling yourself to people. It's like you selling your rooms to people. So if you want your room to be attractive, then you did the work.
Okay, so if you do the work, what is going to be your profit?
So if I do the work, I should be realized like 800, 750.
If you do the work?
Yes.
Great, that's a good deal. And you don't own this property?
No, the deal doesn't belong to me. The house doesn't belong to me.
It's rent to rent?
Rent to rent deal.
And you didn't find it yourself?
I actually secured through a source.
You paid someone?
I paid someone to get, because I don't have the time. So I have to pay someone from your network, which is Nick. I actually secured the deal for me.
Oh, great, fantastic. So now you've secured this deal, and you're gonna do the work. Obviously, we've looked around, and I've really basically criticized.
Yes,
criticized.
I'm sleeping here today, and I'm spending like 5 days in London. During that 5 days, I have a lot to do to make sure the room is up to standard.
Great, fantastic, and you're gonna get to work.
Pardon?
And you're gonna get to work.
Yes.
Straight away.
Straight away. I'm sleeping here tonight, bringing the handyman, buying all the decorations, buy the TV, buy the freezer, the fridge, make sure the room is up to standard so that my tenant will be happy. I won't just leave them and going back to Scotland. It doesn't work that way. You sell yourself to people, so as
you have to sell a room. Yeah, you have to sell a style.
So as to sell your rooms to people as well.
Great.
Yes, and I also seen one of your property. You want you add yourself. I've seen the picture, and that was exactly what I did. I actually went to your website to bring out your picture and copy it, and eventually I saw some few people rushed in, and when they came here, they said, "This is not the picture we saw." So we have to say, "Okay, we're sorry. We intend to make sure this room looks like that." So that is the momentum we are losing, and which you actually said, this is not how to sell your room to people. For you to have a tenant in this room, this and this have to be in place. And thanks for that.
Great, thank you so much, my man. Thank you for inviting me. To come and share part of your journey. Like I always say to people, property is an absolute great vehicle to build wealth. Getting started, especially using rent to rent, to learn all these technicalities, the terms, the compliance required, and eventually start acquiring your own properties. This is exactly what I've done in my journey. I started where you are, all right, 2017. I started exactly where you are.
That was why
it's
I said,
completely lost.
Whoever that loves your story wants to be a property investor.
Absolutely. I was completely lost, yes. I was lost like you. I didn't know everything was so confusing. But I committed to one thing: knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. In fact, everything sounded so confusing. But 2017 passed, 2018, I quit my job, and the rest is history. All this journey started for me securing that first deal way back in 2017. But the journey actually started in 2016. So it's been a 6 years journey that's become my overnight success. So I want you to, know that this is your journey. This is today marking your journey of your overnight success. Maybe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years time. As long as you don't quit, as long as you put in the work, as long as you follow the steps, the processes, and focusing on providing quality against quantity. All right, and that's what's going to get you where you want to be.
Exactly.
So thanks for inviting me, man.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. So how are you finding the mentorship? For those who are watching right now, what would you say? Can you get started in property, using creative strategies and even running an HMO property without knowledge, without education?
I'll be honest. For you to be successful in property business, there is one thing you need to realize. It's not like where I came from is a lawless place that you can just do anything you like. But in United Kingdom, there are some rules you have to follow. So for you to know the rules, for you to be aware of what is going on because different councils have different rules. And for you to be aware of those rules, you have to be knowledgeable. And sometimes if you want to have that knowledge, you have to have a mentor. It's not about you just buying as you used to say. Some people have like 5 houses in this country that they bought with their own personal money and they're still struggling. Simply because they don't have a mentor, they don't have someone to tell them this is the right thing you need to do to make things work. So as HMO and rent deal as well, you can probably secure a rent deal and it's going to be a bad business. And the issue is once you sign the contract, that's it for you. So for you to make money, that's part of your job. That if you belong to property work education, your first rent deal, especially the first one, you're going to assess it and you're going to make sure the profit actually works, and which you actually did today by coming to see if everything works. And you actually point out my mistakes, but actually the deal is not as bad as I think, because I thought, oh my God, what have I done? But until you came in and said it's not as bad as I pictured it, and you corrected my mistake. Now guys, if I don't have a mentor, I'll probably be losing it. And as you said, first 1 month I have to pay for my personal money, second month I have to pay for my personal money, third month I will just quit. And the dream of me becoming a property investor just end that way. So why should I allow my dream to end? I need someone to mentor me. And that is Daniel Moses himself.
Thank you so much.
The moment I saw him, I said, I'm actually going with him. No more conversation, no more. I'm not going to change my mind.
Yes.
And thank God I'm here.
Great. Thank you for asking us to come, man.
Thank you very
Keep
much.
up the good work. As long as you don't quit, you will win. The only people who never become successful are the people who quit. So I know you're not a quitter. I know you're a winner. I know you're a fighter. And congratulations. And congratulations on your very first rent-to-rent deal. You already got 3 tenants. So don't worry. It's only been literally a month. You got 3 tenants already. You got 3 tenants to go. So 3 tenants come in, pay you money. And that money is going to be used to pay your what? Your first rent.
My first rent.
So you only just need a little bit of a top up. All right? Less than £1,000 top up to pay your landlord. So don't panic. It's part of the process. Okay? So you've seen his story. For any one of you looking to getting started right now and you want to build your rent-to-rent journey the right way, make sure you drop a link. So make sure you connect with us. You drop a comment below this video. And if you're really, really motivated to get started, follow Gabriel's journey, follow Property Wealth Education and other of our mentees' story. This is what we do. We don't just teach you or coach you or mentor you. We hold your hand. We make sure you're successful. And that is what Property Wealth Education is all about. Looking forward to see you soon. My name is Daniel Moses and I'm out.